Hey, excited to have you join us today. We are talking about subconscious versus the unconscious mind. Want to understand this a little bit better, don't you? So we are talking to Suzette, who is an expert. How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thoughts? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? All right, hey, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about a lot of really cool stuff. Specifically today, we're talking about the subconscious versus the unconscious mind. I really want to understand this. If you've been following the series, you know, we're looking at all these different ways where we are connected to higher power. And kind of as a subtext through the series is my journey. You know, I am trying to get over a lot of the blocks that have been holding me back and preventing me from getting the success that I want. And as I document this, basically, as we go throughout the series, I'm sharing it with you so that whatever you're going through, wherever you're at in your life, hopefully you can take what you learn and apply it in and get where you're going faster. So Suzette Heater is going to talk to us today about kind of the subconscious versus the unconscious mind. Is that a good way to introduce?
That's a great way. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Scott. The consciousness is perceiving, apprehending, or noticing with a degree of controlled thought or observation. It is being capable of a cognitive thinking. Consciousness is marked by thought, will, design, or perception. The subconscious is existing in the mind but not immediately available to the conscious, and the unconscious is not experiencing a conscious thought, sensation, or feeling, but it's a knowing, it's a perceiving, it's being aware on some level. Dr. Max Planck, the father of quantum mechanics in 1931, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." We cannot get behind consciousness. Everything we talk about, everything we regard as existing postulates consciousness. So I find it fascinating because we have, if I could draw a picture, there would be a circle of our head, and there would be a line. There's the conscious, the subconscious, right? And it's just so fascinating what's going on. They say there's a wall between the two, and there's so much science with this as well and what's going on. They say that, so I was in an NLP training not too long ago, and the presenter started talking about swearing. She works a lot with vets, and she was explaining that within their research, because vets, I guess, swear a lot, that's just part of their culture. There's no judgment on that. That's just part of their culture. But she was saying that when you swear, it's a form of releasing, but those words hit that wall. And it can't go past. It can't go past the subconscious into the conscious. And so that's why they repeat. It gets repetitive. Because it hits the wall. And I just find it so fascinating. There's so much about this, in that we can be aware and consciously aware. And what we're not aware of, our bodies can be aware of.
Okay. Either
through intuition, through the chakras, through a source that is knowing, right? And there is truth, understanding that there is a source higher than ourselves that we can tap into to be able to understand what the blocks are that is stopping us from reaching those different levels.
Okay, so here's a kind of a case in point. I'm wondering if this works, but like I've been working to build a business and it hasn't taken off the way that I wanted to, and I think I believe that what I believe is going to manifest. And so I'm working to make my conscious beliefs like strategically based, you know, the things that I actually want to believe in that are going to be constructive for me and my family and my life. And so I'm working to get those, and I have them in the conscious mind, but I think in my subconscious mind, I still have those other beliefs. So, you know, I feel like there's kind of this battle of the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind, where, you know, the new belief is coming in and kind of button up against the other one. Does that make sense?
They say that affirmations, you have to say an affirmation 10,000 times before it goes to the subconscious.
Ah.
So affirmations are great, and there is a place for them, but instead of doing an affirmation, if you ask it in a question, you take your affirmation, and so instead of saying, I am smart, you could say, why am I smart? If you say, why am I smart? Then immediately the subconscious or the conscious is going to go search through the files of the subconscious. Why am I smart?
And then it'll look for the evidence. Again, we're looking for evidence here. Once it finds that evidence, then it starts to believe it.
Yes.
Oh,
Noah St.
I love that.
Yeah, Noah St. John created this and explained it and said that that's how you get through those layers
Okay.
a lot faster than just with affirmations. Affirmations are great and they do have their place. But and the other thing is that it's super important to have everything teamed up, because if you just, so our bodies have all these systems, pieces and parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual. If only the spiritual is teamed up with your heart, and only the spiritual is looking for that manifestation, it's not going to work. You have to be wholehearted.
Okay.
All of those systems, including sometimes your ego, well, all the time, including your ego, because a big clue to manifesting is to be able to bring all those systems to create the same thing.
Okay. That's cool. That super helps me. Now, another question that I have, so you have the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Is there an unconscious mind? What is the unconscious mind?
Well, the unconscious is those programs that run through us.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
big part of the, so a program it generally looks like you have the experience.
Mm-hmm.
From the experience, you form a thought. From the thought, you form emotion. From the emotion, you form the belief. And then you form the action. And that cycle creates a program. Well, that can also, these programs get stored in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not only from our experiences, but they can be generational experiences as well. Those are all stored in the subconscious. Our brains, our bodies are like a computer.
Okay.
Very much like a computer. And there's files, there's pieces, there's systems, right? That's how our body works too. There's files, there's programs, there's systems. And understanding how that all works and how the body works when it's all teamed up with the same goal,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the manifestations can happen.
Okay. So you have to get them all aligned?
Yes, be all aligned.
Oh, that's a lot of systems to get
It's a
aligned.
lot of systems. It is. It's exciting, though, that we can do that.
Uh-huh. And are there shortcuts to do that? You mentioned affirmations take 10,000.
Yes.
That's too long for me. I'm
Yes.
impatient.
Yes.
What are
The
some
questions, doing the, it's called afformations, right? Doing
Okay.
the questions, AFFOR, MATH, ONS. Doing that works. Being able to even just pray and ask, just ask the higher source, what are my blocks? What's going on here? Earlier we talked about the flow of energy and how it flows through us and how it can get blocked. Those blocks are typically a false belief.
Okay.
It can be something, it can be emotional, mental, physical, or spiritual. It can be any of those. And it can also be from the experience from the thought, from the emotion, from the core belief, or from the actions that we do. And when in my modality, which is REDI, R-E-D-I, we go through and we find all the what we call reactives. We find all the reactives that are attached to a program.
Mm-hmm.
And once we find all those reactives, then we can remove them. When you remove them, then you can replace them.
So this is about removing the negative false beliefs and then replacing them with positive, constructive, true beliefs? Is that what you're saying?
True, but I mean, that's only a piece of the puzzle. You're
Okay.
actually removing the program. You're removing the whole program.
Okay.
Because it's the whole program that's affecting your whole system, your whole computer.
Okay. Sounds complicated. Is it really complicated?
It's not complicated at all. Once you learn the processes and once you understand it, it's really exciting because what I find is that there's so many ways to do this. There's just not one way. And many people do it many different ways. And
Can you give us an example or show us like one modality or something?
sure. Do you want me to jump into? So with, let me think. There's muscle testing, right?
Okay.
So I can ask, what is attached to this program? Is it hate? Is it anger? Is it frustration? What? And you can just muscle test to find out. And just remember that tight hold
Mm-hmm.
is
a yes.
Is a yes,
Okay.
and letting go, like the freedom. Loose.
Okay.
Loose is a no, tight is yes. There we go.
Okay. So then you can ask those questions
Yes,
and just
muscle
kind of
testing.
test with your body on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Anything else you want to share on the subconscious versus the conscious mind?
Just that there's also EFT. You can do the tapping. My son, who is high functioning autistic, I've done EFT with him for years. Being able to tap in through we have 12 meridians that run through our bodies. And tapping into those can also be a powerful source. Clearing our chakras again can be a powerful source.
Mm-hmm.
Having that clarity with God, paying attention, daily evaluation, divine self-evaluation, not beating yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Daily divine self-evaluation, I think, is very critical. Knowing that you are in alignment with your
Mhm.
goal. You can always, because so much of this comes down to goals and goal setting too, right? So just evaluating how you did through the day with your goal. What did you step into? What did you step? Where did you overstep? Where,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Sounds like
And
there's
journaling.
a lot of really cool stuff. And I love journaling, especially first thing in the morning when you just really clear everything that's been working on in your mind. So thank you so much. Is there a way people can reach out to you?
Sure. mentoremotions@gmail.com.
Okay, great. And thank you very much for joining us. I hope this has given you kind of some new stuff to process. How do we tap into greater power? How do we tap into the power within? What is really going on that is below the surface level that you normally see in life? But hopefully that helps you start to ask more questions about who you really are. What do you think? You've heard our thoughts. Now let's hear yours. In the comment section below, share what impressions came to your mind. What did you get out of this? If you have had thoughts to take action, please do so. Always listen to your inner voice. It's your ultimate guidance system. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you by sending you my purpose planner so you can have a physical guide to help you get in touch with your inner guide. What if you are a God in the making? That would mean there's purpose to your life, meaning to your challenges. You have a great work to do. May you have the courage, faith, and power to become who you were truly meant to be. See you next time.